Welcome to Mile High Living. I'm Sam Boyk. Thanks for joining us today. Phil Harding is a Colorado attorney who's been practicing for 34 years. He's been a super lawyer for over 13 years, an AV-rated lawyer, and elected one of the top 100 trial lawyers in Colorado for 14 years. And he's here with us today with a warning about what to watch out for if you're involved in a car accident. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have you. And what kind of tips and what kind of topics are you talking about to help our viewers today?
Yeah, let's talk about some laws. We'll see how many I can hit, but let's go over laws that you don't know about. Let's say you've been involved in a car accident or hurt on the property of another. First of all, you need to know that the other side's insurance company, let's say you got rear-ended, calls you up and talks to you. They're not your friend. They're not your buddy. You're not going to have, barbecue with them on Friday night.
Sure.
And let me tell you the reason why. So what's going to happen is they're going to call you right after the accident and they're going to say, hey, look, we've accepted liability, right? Our person ran into you, so will you please give me a statement? Mistake number one.
I see.
Because there's a Colorado law that specifically says if you are injured, it is illegal. That's right, illegal for the other side to call you within 15 days. And here's the reason why. Right after the accident, maybe your neck or your back hurts, but then 2 days later or a week later, it may radiate into your arm or your leg. Now, let's just say they've accepted liability and the person that's calling you, the adjuster from the other side, is your best buddy from high school.
Oh my gosh.
And she says, oh, Sam, I watch your show all the time. I love you. You know what? I'm supposed to offer you between $5,000 and $25,000. Let's not play the game. I'm just going to give you $25,000.
And it might seem enticing for someone, right?
Right, and I'm just telling you, the other side would never do that. And here's the reason why. The person that ran into you, their premiums, right, their future car insurance premiums are based upon how much an insurance company pays out. So if they paid out $5,000, his premiums go up that much. If they paid out the $25,000, now it goes up this much. And if they found out that they offered you $25,000 to start off with, now that guy, bad guy that ran into you, can bring a lawsuit against his insurance company. So that's why the insurance company has a duty. They have two jobs, and only two jobs. Number one, protecting their insured, and number two, making money for their company.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, and what other kinds of things should people know about if they are involved in an auto accident?
Yeah. Everyone thinks that if the other side says we're at fault, they're going to pay for your medical bills. They are not. The other side writes one check and only one check at the very end. So your medical bills, you have to go through health insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, and as talking about health insurance, Medicaid and Medicare, I mean, we're going to go into an EOB, right? If you have that, you use it all the time. But let's just run through a scenario, okay? Let's look at something, and let's say they run into you and you do give a statement within 15 days, right? Well, that would be totally excluded. But here's the reason why you don't. Because when the adjuster calls you up, they're like, how fast do you think the person was that ran into you? And you're like, I don't know, 30, 35 miles an hour? They just cleaned us. And so they make you guess on this. They also ask about your injuries, right? Which change. And finally, they trick you. And here's how they trick you. When they say, how fast were they going? Cars have black boxes. We were talking about this before.
Yes, and this is something I didn't know.
It's called an EDR, stands for Event Data Recorder. And what it does is it measures 5 seconds before an event all the way through the event. It tells how fast they were going, when they stepped on the brakes, any of that kind of stuff. So now on your statement, right? How fast do you think the car was going? 30, 35 miles an hour. They pull the EDR, they find out the person that ran into you is only going 20 miles an hour. Now they go, Sam, you exaggerate. Right? You're probably exaggerating your injuries as well.
And that's kind of how they get you.
That's 100% how they
by
get
giving
you.
that statement. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Now let's talk about don't send your medical bills to the other side. And here's the reason why. I'm going to show this. This is called an EOB. It stands for an explanation of benefit. And you're going to see this. Now, if you look on the far left-hand side, the amount, and this is a true EOB, the amount that was billed by Rose was $26,000. Your health insurance comes in and says, normal and customary, right? We're going to reduce this by $23,000, so the total amount that is due is $3,000. If you sent this to the other side would say, oh, we'll pay you the $3,000. No. Fancy attorney words. You ready for this?
Okay.
Collateral source doctrine. And what it says is if a collateral source, like your health insurance, reduces a bill, the other side doesn't get the benefit. So on this one alone, you would have gotten I'm looking at it, $26,000 because the person that ran into you didn't pay for your health insurance premiums, right?
Right.
So they don't get that benefit on that one bill alone. If you sent this over and they say, here's the $3,000 and you accept it, you could have gotten $26,000. This one bill, you've lost out on $23,000.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That is incredible. And thanks to you, of course, now we are aware of this where maybe we wouldn't have been before.
Yeah, I've been practicing for years, and getting these reductions on that is just so important. Just watch out for the other side, and also never settle until you're done treating, right? You might think, oh, in 2 months I'm going to be okay, and then you settle your case. Man, you may be totally missing out. And then the last thing I want to talk about is statute of limitations. If you're hurt by the government, right, on the state capitol and you slip and fall, or someone runs into you and it says, I don't know, the police on the side or something like that, you have to send them this special notice within 182 days. It's called the Governmental Immunity Act. And then if you don't send that to them, you don't get the normal statute of limitations. Car accident, 3 years. Hurt on property of another, that's 2 years statute of limitations.
Wow, such amazing but yet overwhelming information, because a lot of us are just not educated on how to do this or how to understand all of this. So we're grateful for your expertise, Phil.
Yeah, just don't talk to the other side. They're not your buddy.
Yeah, good thing to remember.
Yeah.
As always, great information. So now, to reach Harding & Associates directly, call 303-762-9500 for a free consultation anytime. And you can also find him online at hlaw.com. They paid for this segment. Stay with us.